Have you ever wondered what lies in the very heart of America, far away from the coasts, skyscrapers, and the spotlight of big cities? Wichita, Kansas, is a name that may not always be the first destination you hear about when people talk about traveling in the United States. But once you set foot here, or even better, once you drive through its roads, you quickly realize why this city has earned a place in history as more than just a stop on the map. Wichita is a living story, a city built on resilience, ambition, and innovation. And today, we're going to explore it together. Wichita has always been at the crossroads of American identity. Long before the first settlers arrived, this land was home to Native American tribes, particularly the Wichita people, from whom the city takes its name. Imagine the open plains centuries ago, with vast herds of bison roaming freely, and communities that lived in harmony with the land. The very spirit of those people still lingers here, and it's represented powerfully in one of the city's most iconic symbols, the Keeper of the Plains. Standing 44 feet tall at the confluence of the Big and Little Arkansas rivers, this steel sculpture pays tribute to Native American heritage. At night, when the fire pots at its base ignite, the flames reflect against the river and the figure of the keeper, creating a breathtaking view that connects the past with the present. But Wichita is not just about looking back, it's about moving forward. In fact, this city has one of the strongest identities tied to innovation in the entire nation. Wichita is proudly known as the air capital of the world. During the 20th century, names like Cessna, Beechcraft, and Learjet transformed the skies, all born right here. It's not an exaggeration to say that Wichita helped America take off, literally. More airplanes have been built here than in any other city on the planet. Even today, aviation remains the backbone of Wichita's economy, with thousands of engineers, pilots, and mechanics working daily to keep the dream of flight alive. For anyone visiting, the Kansas Aviation Museum is a must-see, a cathedral of aviation history, housed in a historic Art Deco terminal building, surrounded by vintage aircraft that tell the story of how this city earned its wings. Driving through Wichita, you can sense how the city balances tradition with progress. The downtown skyline may not reach the clouds like New York or Chicago, but it carries its own quiet charm. Modern glass towers rise alongside historic brick buildings, while murals and street art bring bursts of color to unexpected corners. The Arkansas River cuts through the heart of the city, creating both a natural and cultural center. Riverfront parks invite locals to gather for festivals, music events, and quiet walks at sunset. And when the summer heat arrives, as it often does in Kansas, families find shade under tall cottonwood trees or cool off in splash pads by the river. Another surprising fact: Wichita is also a city of music and culture. It might not be Nashville or New Orleans, but its contributions run deep. Jazz once thrived in local clubs, and today, live music still fills the air at festivals and concert halls. The Orpheum Theater, a century-old gem downtown, hosts concerts, plays, and film screenings, preserving the city's artistic pulse. Wichita State University also adds energy to the city, not just through academics and research, but through sports, arts, and innovation. If you follow basketball, you've probably heard of the Wichita State Shockers, a team that has made its mark on NCAA tournaments and created a loyal fan base. But Wichita isn't only about big industries and sports pride. It's also a city of everyday life that feels authentic. Locals here are known for their friendliness, their Midwestern values, and their quiet determination. Walking through Old Town, you find brick warehouses that have been transformed into restaurants, breweries, and shops. At night, the cobblestone streets glow under vintage-style lamps, giving the district a cozy yet vibrant atmosphere. It's a place where history and modern life meet, a reminder of how Wichita has constantly adapted without losing its soul. And we can't forget about food. Wichita has quietly built a reputation for its culinary diversity. Yes, you'll find classic Kansas barbecue here, smoky, rich, and unforgettable. But beyond that, the city surprises with international flavors: Mexican, Vietnamese, Mediterranean, thanks to immigrant communities who have brought their traditions to this Midwestern hub. For locals, grabbing a plate of barbecue ribs or enjoying a fresh banh mi sandwich is just part of daily life. For visitors, it's proof that Wichita's culture is far more global than many expect. So, as we begin our journey through Wichita, remember this. This isn't just another city in Kansas. This is the pulse of America's heartland, a place where heritage, innovation, and community come together in powerful ways. And as we keep driving, we'll uncover more of its hidden gems, from its museums and parks to its neighborhoods and stories. But before we dive even deeper into Wichita, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. On Rodando Tour, we're not just passing through, we're discovering the soul of every city we explore. And trust me, Wichita has plenty more to reveal. As we continue our journey through Wichita, one thing becomes clear. This city has a way of surprising you at every corner. Beyond its reputation as the air capital of the world, Wichita also embraces its role as a center of culture, family life, and outdoor beauty. It's a place where museums tell stories of both the past and the future, where gardens bloom in the middle of the plains, and where wildlife thrives in spaces that feel both urban and natural. Let's start with one of Wichita's true treasures, Botanica, Wichita. Spread across 17 acres, this botanical garden is more than just flowers and trees. It's a sanctuary that changes with every season. In spring, tulips paint the grounds in brilliant colors. In summer, butterflies dance around the butterfly house. In autumn, the leaves turn into shades of fire and gold. And in winter, the gardens transform into a sparkling wonderland during the annual Illuminations event, where thousands of lights create one of the most magical holiday displays in the Midwest. Walking through Botanica is like stepping into different worlds, from the serenity of Japanese gardens to the joy of a children's garden where kids can climb, play, and discover nature. Just a short drive away, you'll find one of the most popular attractions in the region, the Sedgwick County Zoo. Ranked among the top zoos in the United States, it is home to more than 3,000 animals from around the globe. The zoo is divided into themed habitats that transport you across continents: Africa, Asia, South America, and beyond, all without leaving Wichita. Standing face to face with a towering giraffe or watching a pride of lions resting under the Kansas sun makes you realize that Wichita has created a space where both education and adventure come alive. For families, it's a perfect way to spend the day. And for travelers, it's proof that this city can hold its own against larger destinations. But Wichita's cultural side doesn't end there. Step into the Exploration Place, a science and discovery center designed to spark curiosity at every age. Its futuristic architecture, shaped almost like an airplane wing, reflects the city's aviation roots. Inside, you'll find interactive exhibits on flight, space, engineering, and the human body. For children, it's a playground of science. For adults, it's a reminder of the innovation that defines Wichita's spirit. The Dome Theater, with its massive screen, takes visitors on journeys through the stars, oceans, and even into the human bloodstream. It's the kind of place where you walk out feeling inspired, no matter your age. If you're looking for history, Wichita delivers that as well. The old Cowtown Museum is like stepping back into the 19th century. This living history museum recreates life in the 1860s and 1870s, when Wichita was still a frontier settlement. Wooden sidewalks, horse-drawn carriages, blacksmith shops, and costumed interpreters bring the Wild West to life. Here, you don't just learn history, you experience it. You can smell the leather in the saddle shop, hear the crack of gunfire during reenactments, and taste food cooked the way it was more than a century ago. It's one of the best ways to understand Wichita's roots as a cattle town on the famous Chisholm Trail, where cowboys once drove herds north to railheads and markets. Of course, Wichita has its modern side too, and it shines brightest in its neighborhoods. The Old Town District, with its red brick warehouses, has become the heartbeat of the city's nightlife. Once used for storing grain and goods, these historic buildings now house restaurants, bars, art galleries, and breweries. On a Friday night, the cobblestone streets come alive with music, conversation, and laughter. Whether you're enjoying craft beer brewed locally, tasting Kansas-style barbecue, or simply walking under the glow of street lamps, Old Town shows how Wichita has transformed its past into a vibrant future. And then there's the food scene, a part of Wichita that deserves special attention. Barbecue may be king in Kansas, but Wichita adds its own flavor to the table. Here, pitmasters slow cook ribs, brisket, and pulled pork until the meat falls off the bone, filling the air with smoky aromas that are impossible to resist. But Wichita is also surprisingly diverse for a Midwestern city. Vietnamese cuisine has a strong presence, with family-owned restaurants serving steaming bowls of pho and fresh spring rolls. Mexican food is also a staple, from street tacos to tamales that taste like they've been passed down for generations. For those who want something sweet, local bakeries and donut shops are a hidden treasure. Some open as early as 4 a.m. to serve fresh pastries to early risers and night owls alike. Wichita is also a city that knows how to celebrate. Throughout the year, festivals bring people together in ways that showcase the city's diversity and creativity. The Wichita River Festival, held every spring, is the largest community event in the region. For 9 days, the city becomes a stage for concerts, parades, fireworks, and family activities. Locals and visitors alike gather along the Arkansas River to celebrate the city's culture and community spirit. In the fall, events like the Tallgrass Film Festival highlight Wichita's role in the arts, attracting filmmakers and movie lovers from around the world. It's moments like these that show Wichita is more than just the quiet heartland. It's a city alive with energy and expression. And while we drive through its streets, it's easy to notice something else. Wichita feels real. It's not trying to impress you with over-the-top attractions or glittering facades. Instead, it wins you over with authenticity, with neighborhoods that feel lived in, parks that invite you to stay a little longer, and people who greet you with warmth. It's a reminder that sometimes the best stories are not found in the loudest places, but in the ones that quietly hold the soul of a nation. Before we keep going, take a moment to support this journey. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join me as we uncover the stories and hidden gems of cities like Wichita. Every road we travel has something to teach us, and every city, no matter how big or small, has something to share. As our journey through Wichita continues, we start to see that this city is much more than just a dot on the map. It is, in many ways, a mirror of America itself, where history, struggle, and progress all meet in one place. One of the most fascinating aspects of Wichita is how it blends the old frontier spirit with the modern Midwestern lifestyle. Remember, this was once a rugged cattle town along the famous Chisholm Trail. Cowboys and ranchers would drive thousands of cattle across the plains, stopping in Wichita as a key point before moving north. The echoes of those days are still alive in the city's DNA. Streets like Douglas Avenue carry more than a century of stories, where saloons and trading posts once defined the rhythm of life. Today, Douglas Avenue is a main artery filled with coffee shops, restaurants, theaters, and businesses. But if you pause for a moment, you can almost hear the sound of horseshoes striking the dirt roads of the 19th century. Wichita also holds a strong sense of artistic identity. Beyond the murals that decorate its walls, the city is home to the Wichita Art Museum, one of the largest art museums in Kansas. Inside, you find more than 7,000 pieces of American art, paintings, sculptures, glasswork that connect both local and national stories. The museum doesn't just preserve culture, it inspires it, making art accessible to the community. And just nearby, the Ulrich Museum of Art at Wichita State University pushes boundaries even further, showcasing contemporary and modern art that challenges visitors to think differently. One of the most striking features is the outdoor sculpture collection, where massive installations rise against the Kansas sky, turning the entire campus into an open-air gallery. Sports also play a huge role in Wichita's identity. For many, the pride of the city can be found on the courts with the Wichita State Shockers basketball team. Known for their fierce style of play and unforgettable March Madness runs, the Shockers embody the city's spirit, underestimated by many, but capable of surprising everyone. The energy inside Charles Koch Arena during a game is electric, black and yellow filling the stands, chants echoing across the court, and a community rallying behind its team. And it's not just basketball. Baseball, hockey, and minor league teams also keep sports alive year-round, giving Wichita that competitive, yet family-friendly atmosphere. But one of the city's true gems is its connection to music. Wichita may not carry the global fame of New Orleans or Nashville, but its contributions are deeply woven into American sound. Local jazz clubs in the 20th century were part of the broader jazz movement that swept across the country, and to this day, live performances continue to thrive in smaller venues. Country, rock, and blues all find their place here, creating a local soundtrack that fits perfectly with Kansas sunsets and long drives through the plains. Wichita also hosts music festivals that bring together both established artists and rising talents, turning the city into a stage for creativity. And then, there are the curiosities, the details that make Wichita unique. Did you know that Pizza Hut, one of the world's largest restaurant chains, was founded right here in Wichita in 1958? Two brothers, Dan and Frank Carney, started it with just $600 borrowed from their mother. Their original building still stands today, preserved on the Wichita State University campus, as a reminder of how global ideas can start from humble places. It's just one example of how Wichita has quietly influenced the world in ways many people don't realize. Another curiosity is the strong connection Wichita has to aviation, not just in history, but in its everyday life. The roar of planes overhead isn't unusual. It's a soundtrack for the city. Generations of families have worked in aviation plants, designing, building, and maintaining aircraft. For many Wichita residents, aviation isn't just an industry. It's a tradition, passed down from parent to child, creating a legacy that continues to fuel the local economy and identity. Yet despite all these modern achievements, Wichita never loses sight of its natural roots. Parks and green spaces spread throughout the city, offering residents a place to slow down and connect with nature. Places like Riverside Park and Oak Park are perfect escapes, where walking trails weave between trees and the sound of the Arkansas River accompanies your steps. These spaces remind you that even in the middle of a city built on progress, there's always room for stillness and reflection. Driving through Wichita, you also get a sense of its Midwestern hospitality. People here are known for being genuine, willing to strike up a conversation with strangers, quick to lend a helping hand, and proud of their city, even if it doesn't always get the recognition it deserves. It's this authenticity that makes Wichita special. It's not a city built for show, it's a city built for living. And perhaps that's Wichita's greatest strength. It doesn't try to compete with New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago. Instead, it embraces what it is, a city at the crossroads of history and modernity, where every street and every building has a story to tell. From the keeper of the plains watching over the rivers, to the neon lights of Old Town, to the quiet strength of its aviation legacy, Wichita embodies the soul of the American heartland. So as we wrap up this chapter of our journey, remember, sometimes the greatest discoveries are not the places everyone talks about, but the ones waiting quietly, ready to surprise you. Wichita, Kansas is one of those places, a city that has shaped history, celebrated culture, and welcomed travelers with open arms. If you've enjoyed this ride through Wichita, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Rodando Tour, and join me on the next journey. Because across America, every road leads to a story, and every city, just like Wichita, has a heartbeat worth discovering.